If you're looking for the best acoustic bass guitar, here's a list you must see. We made this list based on our personal preference and sorted it based on their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturers and customer feedback. Also, we've included options for every type of customer. So let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have Fender FA 450 acoustic bass guitar, Fender and bass guitars. You simply can't think bass guitar without thinking of Fender. In 1951, Leo Fender gave the world arguably the greatest bass guitar ever in the Fender Precision and followed that up 9 years later with another great bass, the Jazz. Top bass guitars and Fender. The 450 is to the eye, not Fenderish. A large body, single cutaway, an acoustic shape that they call New Auditorium. It lends itself to another world. It does though possess the Fender build quality, and it has a mahogany back and sides with a 3-shade sunburst maple top, with some attractive cream binding. The fingerboard is made from laurel and with the cutaway. Has a 20-fret reach, which is quite good. It is a typical Fender long scale neck. This guitar has a nice tone, and with its C-neck has a nice feel to it. The bass guitar is in the DNA of Fender, so you can rely on this to be a quality instrument. It won't sound like your Precision, but it's not supposed to. But it does sound like a good acoustic bass. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Fender CB6 Disc Beginner Acoustic-Electric Beginner Bass Guitar. You have to start somewhere, and maybe learning to play bass on an acoustic is a good way to begin. But this bass guitar though goes way beyond that, in terms of the quality that you might expect from a guitar termed as a beginner instrument. It has mahogany back and sides and a solid spruce top, like so many of its 6-string cousins, and has a tapered, easy-to-play neck with a rolled fingerboard. It is an attractive-looking bass guitar. Unlike acoustic 6-string guitars, which often take the basis of their overall tone from the top end, acoustic bass guitars cannot do that. Very often then in their natural state, they will all sound quite similar. Quality of string can make a small difference, but it is the construction that will have the most impact. Orchestral basses and cellos take their voluminous sounds from the size of their body shape. It is that generates the sound. You cannot have that with a bass on your lap or around your neck, so other issues have to be maximized. We are therefore relying a bit on amplification, and with this guitar, good use is made of the Fishman pickup and preamp. It has bass and treble controls with the volume and gives a neat sound. It also has a built-in tuner with LED display. The number 3 position is held by Taylor GS Mini E Acoustic-Electric Bass. Taylor has added an acoustic-electric bass to their GS range. It's constructed from layered sapel wood for the sides and the back with a top made from Sitka spruce. It also has a sapel neck and an ebony fingerboard. It has a scale length of 23.5 inches, essentially making it a small-scale bass. But they have decided not to have a cutaway to allow full access to the fingerboard, a travel bass. It's therefore a very compact and easy bass to handle and extremely light. In many ways, you could also include travel bass guitar to its description. With a reputed manufacturer, you would expect quality, and this bass is beautifully made from good materials, but it also sounds nice, giving natural bass sounds. There's a resonance to the notes which is impressive given the relatively small body size. What has been achieved with the natural sound is to create something a little different. Amplified sound is delivered by any SB Electronics preamp, giving you a basic tone control and a volume situated on the top of the guitar for easy use, easy to play. A nice resonant sound with impressive deep notes. It delivers on all fronts. It is though not cheap, but then Taylor does not make cheap guitars. Next at number 4 we have TAKAMINE GB Third Ice Acoustic-Electric Bass Guitar. TAKAMINE makes quality 6-string guitars, so it is interesting to see how well they produce an acoustic-electric bass guitar. They have gone for tried and trusted choices for the manufacturer, the back and sides being mahogany with a solid spruce top, a combination that is likely to yield good results. The cutaway is deep and allows full access to the rosewood fingerboard. The neck itself is mahogany. All well and good having quality materials, but what about the build? As you would expect from a respected guitar manufacturer, it is very good. Put quite simply, everything fits, and fits well. Considering it does not have a voluminous body size, the resonance of the deep frequencies is impressive, but doesn't cloud the twang at the top end. Electrics are provided by the excellent TK40 beat preamp. This gives you volume control, mid-shift, and bass boost controls, and a 3-band EQ with a bypass switch. The controls are located conveniently on the top edge. You cannot fail to be impressed with this instrument, and the inclusion of pearl dot fingerboard inlays and a synthetic bone nut and bridge saddle demonstrate the effort that has been put in making a quality instrument. Placed in the right environment, this bass guitar would be hard to beat, but it is quite expensive. I suppose it's a question of you get what you pay for. The number 5 position is held by Gold Tone 4-string bass guitar M-Bass 25. As you look closely at this bass guitar, it gives the impression it has been made for a very niche market. We'll explain why shortly. Gold Tone might not be the first name you think of when you think bass guitar, but they have produced an instrument with the M-Bass 25 that is worth having a look at. They have used the dreadnought style from the 6-string medium and constructed the guitar around that style. The advantage being the deepness of the body shape, which will add a natural resonance. They have added an interesting cutaway that sits almost at right angles to the body shape that gives access to the high frets. You need that access because this is a short-scale bass guitar with 25.5-inch scale. Going back to my earlier point about a niche market, in some quarters of the bass playing fraternity, there's a certain snobbishness about short-scale instruments. Some saying they are not really a bass guitar. One thing they do offer ease of playing style either for beginners or even pros who want to try things not possible for the average mortal on the long scale. The number 6 position is dominated by Best Choice Products 22-fret full-size acoustic-electric bass guitar. This acoustic-electric bass is part of the BCP catalog of instruments, is made by Sky Enterprises, and is positioned at the premium end of the pricing scale. The body, top, back, neck, and sides are made from mahogany. It has chrome die-cast tuners and is finished in a glossy black or blue finish with tasteful decor around the sound hole. The preamp has controls for bass, middle and treble as sliders, and volume control, and interestingly, presence. Unlike many other acoustic bass guitars, this model comes with a truss rod. The controls are situated conveniently on the top edge of the body. Having identified that it looks really nice, how does it play? Surprisingly well. We say surprisingly because at this price you don't expect too much from a guitar. The action is smooth and easy to play, and with the addition of the truss rod, very adjustable to suit taste. There is little or no fret, but even coming up the scale, and the neck was comfortable. When played acoustically, it had a surprising definition and was quite audible, and when amplified there was enough control from the onboard EQ etc. to get a decent sound. Moving on to the next at number 7 with IBANEZ PCBA 12M Hoppin' 4-string acoustic bass guitar. IBANEZ are renowned for producing quality guitars, and this acoustic bass is no exception. The back and sides are mahogany, and so is the top. It has a maple neck and rosewood fingerboard with 20 frets. There is no cutaway for access to the full fingerboard. The neck is quite thin, so if you are used to playing a full-size electric bass guitar, you will need to adjust a little. It is designed to a grand concert body size, which if you are unfamiliar with that, is a little bigger than a dreadnought. The tuners are made from die-cast chrome. The electrics consist of an undersaddle IBANEZ pickup and an IBANEZ preamp which offers bass and treble controls, a volume, and an onboard tuner. On first glance, it does not seem the most attractive of guitars visually. The depth of color of the mahogany does make it a little dour in its appearance, but that is a side issue. The important things are how it is to play and what does it sound like. The design of the body makes it a comfortable guitar to play sitting down, always an important feature to recognize with acoustic instrument. The number 8 position is held by Boulder Creek Guitars Ebron TB4 4-strings acoustic electric bass guitar. Here we have a very interesting bass guitar to look at, with some different features. The construction is standard almost jumbo style, having mahogany sides and back and a solid spruce top. The body is finished in an attractive tobacco sunburst. It has a single cutaway giving it access up the 22-fret fingerboard. Electrics are supplied by the B4T preamp with controls for treble, bass, and middle, and also a presence. Sound adjustment options then are many. There is also a useful onboard tuner and a phase switch to control any potential feedback on the stage. There is one issue with acoustic basses that cannot be ignored, and that is the volume in the unamplified state. It's going to be quiet, and there isn't much you can do about it. Orchestral double basses are big for a reason. An acoustic bass is likely to get lost behind even one guitar even if it is being fingerpicked fairly lightly. It has no chance of competing with a drummer, even a quiet one. An attempt has been made with this guitar to alleviate the problem in acoustic mode. 2 sound holes have been included, one on the top edge and one on the flat top surface. Next at number 9 we have IBANEZ Acoustic Electric Bass Guitar Dark Violin Sunburst. Another quality IBANEZ to have a look at. They do make very visually attractive instruments. This bass guitar is a full-size body that will give big rich tones with a very warm sound. The neck is a 32-inch scale. Not easy for some to play, but which adds to the tonal quality. Mahogany has been used for the back and sides and the neck, and it has a resonant spruce top with rosewood fretboard and bridge. The fingerboard is pearl dot inlays. The finish, which they call dark violin sunburst, is quite stunning, and if you were to pass it in a store you'd have to look. As we are beginning to realize, electrics on acoustic basses are very important, and here they are provided by a Fishman Sonocore pickup and an SST shape shifter preamp. The preamp has the usual controls for managing the sound and has an onboard tuner. Okay, it looks very pretty and has all the bits you need, but how does it sound? Very good is the answer. Warm, rich tones dominate the sound, and the balance of the frequency range is excellent. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by Dean Ebe Acoustic-Electric bass guitar. This is a big guitar, and with it a big sound. Made from the almost standard mahogany body and spruce top, it continues with formality by presenting a mahogany C-shaped neck with rosewood fingerboard. The fingerboard is pearl dot inlays and is a 34-inch scale neck. It has a dual-action truss rod for the extra stability of adjustment. For electrics, Dean has included a piezo pickup in the bridge and their own passive preamp with volume and tone controls. The bridge is made of rosewood. The tuners are chrome die-cast and are sturdy but easy to use. It doesn't have a cutaway, so if you need to play high, it might be a little awkward. The construction is completed by some nice multi-ply binding and a sound hole inlay onto the sound. It has a quality and richness to it that is generated by the body size that is pleasing to the ear. Like all acoustic basses, it requires its amplification to be heard, but when played acoustically, maybe with one other guitar, the sound is audible. When it is amplified, it maintains its overall sound and comes into its own somewhat. The bottom end really pulsates but doesn't overpower the mids and top end. That's all for today. We upload music product review videos every single day, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.